We're back. We are unbreakable. A lot of things are actually ran through my mind. The moment I noticed issues with the connectivity, and I felt like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Uh, it's cool. It's not interesting though, but it's cool. We move. We move. So we're still going to talk about truly human company today. In a truly human company, kind of scenario would happen, and this is a kind of you know feedback or the kind of response that would happen or that will be given to it. In a company that is not truly human, what we're going to get is you know a lot of weep. Why did that happen? How did that happen? But we are here, and it's interesting, really interesting. Doesn't matter what happened, we are here, and that's a beautiful thing. In a truly human atmosphere, when this happens, this is what you're going to see as a response. But when it is not truly human, everybody will go about and say, "Hey, why did this happen? Why did that happen?" And we are here. What really happens is, what impact do you have to make, in the life of people, not minding what happens behind the scene. A lot of things happen behind the scene, and seriously, they are sometimes unpalatable. But we are here. We are unbreakable, and that's why we are here. You're welcome, everybody. It's not like the celebrated outing we used to have. I look forward to another session of this, but we have this first of all. That's very important. Another one will be better, and then we're going to have everything subjected under control. It's really beautiful to be here. You are joining us again. This was not the you know uh, advertising for the session, but as long as you are on this timeline or you are on LinkedIn, anywhere you are on Facebook, anywhere you are on YouTube, you are definitely going to get this notification again that we are going live again. It's interesting to have you come again. You truly believe in us, and we really appreciate this. I'm here now with our special guest and my co-host. Today is his birthday. I wanted to call it off and say, let's just cancel today and we just have it off like that. But I said, no, I have planned to celebrate his birthday with him today, even on this platform. It's not a coincidence. It's all planned out, and we will not take it for granted. If not for that, I would have just told our special guest, we are sorry, we're going to have you next time. But because today is the birthday of my co-host, I'm excited that we have all of this all the same. It's really beautiful. You're welcome to today's edition of Business MuMu, and we are going to be talking about truly human company. I'm glad to tell you that we just had our best test for the topic we're going to be talking about. Imagine this actually happened in your company. What's going to be your response? So it's really interesting. Prince, it's good to have you. Before we guess, I want you to just tell us today in the birthday mood. It's going to be interesting to hear from you. Let your audio be a bit better.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I couldn't pick any sound.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I can't hear you at all. That's the problem. I can't hear you at all.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me now?
Oh, that's funny. I don't know why.
Hello, can you hear
I've
me?
been trying to see if I can correct it or something, but it doesn't seem to be a
Yeah,
reason why I
yeah.
can't hear you.
I think everybody is audible now, but I think I noticed.
Oh
Check
goodness.
your mic. You should be audible now. Okay. People yet? Okay. Beautiful. As he's trying to get it connected and at his end. Okay. You're welcome, sir. It's good to have you today, and I'm so excited about the opportunity to be able to bring you here. It's a rare privilege. I'm so grateful for that. Only persons like you can discuss on this platform that kind of a sensitive topic, and it's something that really gladdens my heart that we are coming to the heart of the whole thing, that we want people to do things the right way, not just anyhow. The end should not just justify the means. How we get to the end? Let's see the means of getting to the end. How things should be done. People get the norm. People get the figures. They get the beautiful things all around the world, and it's interesting. But how do you get them? What's the ripple effect? What's the impact? These things should have on our society, on the people, and everybody around. So it's really going to be a firework today, as I already anticipate. And without wasting so much of our time, we go straight up, and then we have it really cool today. You are welcome, sir. It's good to have you today. So over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. You can hear me?
Yeah, audibly.
Okay. Thank you for this privilege and this opportunity to actually be here. Happy birthday, Prince David. You were supposed to say some words, but you didn't hear what Tunji said.
I didn't know why that happened.
Well, but then you still have the opportunity to speak on your birthday.
Whoa.
So, truly human company. Now, the whole thing is actually on a foundation of the fact that business can be the most powerful force for good on earth. Yeah, you get me. That is where that stems from. It is the most powerful. I mean, it can change society. A couple of years ago, I sat down and I wrote a book out of my thought, Business Unusual. There was a time I had this WhatsApp group, Business Unusual. So I was looking at what is actually wrong. Because when you look at a business is supposed to not just make profit, but a business is supposed to actually transform society. So I came up with the idea Business Unusual. And the foundation of Business Unusual is actually the employee. It's all about the employee. But the way we look at business now is all about the profit. And this particular concept of truly human was started by Bob Chapman. Bob Chapman runs Barry Way Miller, and along the way, he began to have series of revelations. And those particular revelations actually helped him transform the company from what it was to what it is. Today, their story and their culture speaks much more than even their product itself. But you see, when you're running a truly human company, you need to understand this. There are three major factors. There's the people, the purpose, and the performance. I repeat again, the people, the purpose, the performance. So, and the people are the product. You get me? In most business, we're looking at, oh, our product may be the sugar we make. Then we will say the sugar I make, the salt, and so on. But in a truly human company, the products are actually the people. So, and when you focus on the people, you find out that they can actually transform, take care of the people, that's your employee, and your employee will take care of the business. Simon Sinek will put it this way, that in traditional business, what we do is this. We use people to build a company. But in a truly human company, we use money to build a business, and the people build, we use money to build the people, and the people build the business. So it is important to understand this distinction. A truly human business is a people-centric business. It is centered around people, and every single person that is actually connected to that particular business matters. That is just the thing. Everybody matters. The employee matters, the customer matters, the community matters, the investors in that particular business matters. So it's not about let's make money for our shareholders. No, it's all about let us create value for each person. Because in trying to do that, a truly human company creates both economic value and human value. So the people within are actually dignified. You get me? And this is the most important thing. Every single person in that particular company is sent home fulfilled. We're going to be looking at the details along the way. Every person is sent to home fulfilled. In most companies, nobody even care. Nobody even care what happens to you. All we need you to do is just meet your job description, the target we place for you. If you like, go and destroy your family at home. But the thing is this: what is the essence of a business? When you can make all the profit, but at the same time, the person that work for you, you actually turn him into an animal, into somebody that destroy his own family, somebody that cannot build the right home. It destroys the life of his children. I mean, that is not what it's supposed to be. But in truly human company, you find out that you don't just care about what the person produce, but you also care about the person himself. You're able to listen to that particular person. You see, it's all about the person. Everything must revolve around this person. So then you get this person, then you have a purpose. And Simon Sinek also wrote a book, Start With Why, and the other book, his recent book, The Infinite Game. You get me? So in those two, when you bring these two together, when it comes to purpose, you need to understand that you are not just playing a game that ends today. I mean, ends between 8 and 4 or 9 and 5. You are playing a game that actually has to do with the whole life of that particular person. And there's a ripple effect where when the person goes back home and when the person is in that particular community. Because the way we treat people that we have privilege to lead determines a great deal, impact the way they live their life in their family, in their communities, and everywhere. So, people tend to say, oh, the church is actually powerful. But look at it. How many hours do you spend in the church or in the mosque? You just spend highest, maybe in a week, you spend 5 hours in the church. But in the workplace, every single day, each one of us spend 8 hours, at least 8 hours there. So in a week, you have averagely 40 hours. Now, whatever happened to that person in that person's life within those 8 hours will determine a great deal every other part of that person's life. So that is a truly human company. The concentration is about the person. So when you care for people, you find out that people will actually go the extra mile to perform. And when people perform, when somebody feels cared for, you get me? The person goes to the extreme for you. The person does things to ensure that you actually get the value you need to have. But of course, if you're building a truly human company, you need to have a robust business model. You get me? Because if you don't have a robust business model, the same people that you're supposed to care for, you may end up hurting them. Because you don't have what is bringing you money. So it's not that, oh, we're building a company that is focused on humans, so we don't need the profit. If you don't have the profit, if it doesn't come in, if economic value is not being created, I mean, that business will go nowhere. So, but the key thing is this. We need to get to the point where we bring out the best in people. That's what the truly human company does. You bring out the best in people. Bring out the best in your people, your employees. Bring out the best in your customers. Bring out your best in your investors. And bring out the best in your communities. So it is the most powerful force for good in the whole world. And through a business, we can actually build a better world.
Wow, that's a very powerful, supersonic introduction to what truly human, company is. It's not just about making people. It's about building the community, building
Yeah.
generations, building. It's more than we've got so product in the market. No, it's about the people, the performance, and the product. Very important.
That's
On our first edition, let me just do that again now. We can just relax with that while we get really into the out of the whole thing. I played a video earlier on, and let me play it again. Actually, from Bob Chapman. Okay.
The message there is we can profoundly change the world. So I want to kind of walk you through this journey that I've had in my leadership journey. I had the privilege about 1.5 years ago to participate in my granddaughter's graduation from Aspen High School. It's in the music tent. It's a beautiful venue, and as I sat in the seats with Cynthia, as our granddaughter Aiden walked up and with 158 other students, everybody was so proud of their child, so pleased with the opportunity of one of the best public high schools in the state of Colorado, going to good colleges, good universities, and everybody was applauding and looking forward to these children entering the world. And from my experience in the world, I had a tear in my eye because I knew the world that they were going into. And while we have this joy that we're sending their kids out into the world, my concern is that we have not created a world where they're going to continue to be who they're intended to be. And I'm going to share that with you. So I had a tear in my eye, but I have hope in my heart. Here's the crisis. 88% of all people who work in this country feel they work for an organization that does not care about them. 3 out of 4 people in this country are disengaged in what they're doing. We talk about the healthcare crisis. Guess who's the cause of the healthcare crisis? Organizations in this country are the cause of the healthcare crisis. Why? Because 74% of all illnesses in this country are chronic. The biggest cause of chronic illness is stress, and the biggest cause of stress is work. Okay? Do you know that on Monday mornings there's a 20% increase in heart attacks as people have to go back to work? We talk about an economy where we create jobs, but we're not creating dignity and we're not creating caring. And that's what we want to talk to you about. Recently, the Mayo Clinic told us something that it was startling to me. The person you report to at work, your supervisor, is more important to your health than your family doctor. Think about that. How many people in leadership positions in this country are aware that the way they lead the team of people they have the privilege of leading is going to be a primary factor in the health of the people that they have the privilege of leading?
Very few.
So the way we're working is not working, from our education to our work environment. And so what the world is suffering from is leadership malpractice. Okay? From the highest level. And again, I'm talking about American business, but I've had the privilege of speaking in the Air Force. I've had the privilege of speaking to the healthcare industry and to the education field. And it is broken everywhere, not just in American business. Nonprofits, do leaders of nonprofits know how to care for the people who volunteer? Do our principals in our school know how to care for the teachers in our school? Do you know that 71% of the teachers in this country are disengaged in what they're doing? Disengaged. The people that you send your children to get their basic education are disengaged in what they're doing. They're hurting just as much as the American worker. So we have leadership malpractice in this country, and we could solve it tomorrow. Gallup did a survey of 155 countries for the source of happiness. They thought it would be money, right? It wasn't money, because people had enough money. They were no longer motivated by money. They thought it would be health. They found people take their health for granted. Their number one source of happiness in the world, which every one of you want for yourself, people you care about, and the people of this country, is a good job working with people you enjoy. So what do we deny to 88% of the people in this country? And so when we see the political and climate we have, why are we surprised? There's nothing that, I always say to the groups I get to talk to around the country, don't worry about who's president or who your congressman is. Worry about what you are doing to create an environment where everybody matters. So we're going to walk through this a little bit. Our journey to truly human leadership. Some of you may have seen Simon Sinek yesterday. I've heard of him. He's the #3 TED Talk in the world. We originally called it people-centric leadership. Leadership focused on the people whose lives are entrusted to us. But Simon Sinek came and he spent a lot of time with us. He's now our biggest advocate in the world, as you saw from that video. And Simon said, no, Bob, this is truly human leadership. This is the way we are intended to lead each other. And it's about people, purpose, and performance. There was a restaurant here in Aspen, some of you remember, named Pick Any Two, okay? People, purpose, and performance. It's not picking our society pick number 3. It is about performance, about creating a shareholder value. It starts with the fundamental response, 2 hours by Washington University in St. Louis organizational professors. And after 2 hours of interview, they said to me, I said, we've been talking about our product for the last 2 hours. Seriously, when you think about your life, are you going to look back at the machines or the products or the things you sold or the lives you touched? So when you look at an organization and you look at, number one, the people you have the privilege of leading and knowing that you're going to materially affect their health, it puts a totally different spin on what leadership is. Around a purpose. We come together, Simon talks about finding your why. Why do we come together, and how do I inspire people to discover their gifts, develop their gifts, share their gifts, and as you'll hear, be appreciated for their gifts. And then we have to create value. Inc. magazine did a story, Barry Wayman, and said, people over profit. That is not true. That's what the author of the article wanted to say. It is people in harmony with profit. If we do not create value in organizations, nonprofit, for-profit, we cannot be good stewards of the lives entrusted to us. That is the basis upon which we come together. So it's people, starts with people, profound sense of responsibility for the people you invite into your organization, a purpose that inspires them, and then we have to create value and let people know that they make a difference. We are going to measure success by the way we touch the lives of people, not the growth in our share value, not the growth in our sales, not our market share, but we are going to measure success. We touch our customers, we touch our team members, we touch our bankers, our suppliers, our communities. Success is the way we touch all these, and we articulated these values. And so it gave us this foundation upon which to base everything. And now let me tell you a story. We then implemented these. We started a university to start teaching people how to learn to care. And we were having an event up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, a company we bought, $180 million company to make tissue equipment for people like Procter & Gamble. And we were having this global leadership meeting. We had about 20 of our presidents and operating executives, another 20. So we had about 40 or 50 people in the room. And I got an email the night before we were going to start the meeting. And David Bration said, you might want to walk out into the plant, Bob, because some people did some exercises in lean waste elimination, the Toyota production system. He said, I think they'd really appreciate your acknowledging what they've achieved. And I said, well, Craig, why don't you just have them come into the meeting and update everybody? So these 3 gentlemen, 2 UAW team members, 1 non-union team member, which was Steve here, who I'd never met before, got into work the next morning. VP of Operations said, you're going to go talk to everybody. So they came in front of all of our presidents and they talked the language of business. It was all about numbers. We came together, challenged to reduce costs, improve quality, and reduce lead time, and improve customer experience. And it was numbers, numbers, numbers. And they were talking the language of business. Again, to repeat, my mind goes to different places. I wasn't paying any attention to the numbers. And I looked at this gentleman whose picture here, his name is Steve. I'd never met him before. I said, Steve, how did it affect your life, this And what he told me was profound. Here's a gentleman who had no idea he was going to talk to the chairman of the company, never met me, didn't know the questions. And Steve stood up and he said, you know, Mr. Chapman, I've worked at this company for 30 years. I show up to work, punch my card, I'm told what to do. Nobody ever asks me what I think. I get 10 things right and I never heard a word, and I get one thing wrong and I get my ass chewed out. He said, I found in reflection, when I'd go home at night, I didn't feel very good about myself, the way I was treated all day. But you know, that was just my job and nothing I could do about it. So when I'd get home at night, I'd take my baseball cap off, I'd open the screen door and I'd throw my hat in. If my hat came flying back out, I knew I better go down to the bar and have a beer because it clearly wasn't a very good environment. But since we embraced truly human leadership and people now ask me what I think, I get to contribute to making things better and my ideas get heard. He said, Mr. Chapman, when I go home at night, I feel dramatically different. And when I feel dramatically different, when I go home at night, I'm nicer to my wife. And you know what? When I'm nicer to her, she talks to me. This is the revelation that occurred here in Aspen. A friend of ours, his daughter was getting married down at the Roaring Fork Club. Cynthia and I were in the audience, and he was walking his daughter. Some of you have had the privilege of doing it. He was walking his daughter down the aisle, and everybody was oohing and ahhing how beautiful she looked, how proud he was. When they got to the altar, he took the hand of his daughter, and he gave it to this young man and said, her mother and I give our daughter to be wed to this young man. And he sits down next to his wife, and they hug each other to watch the ceremony continue. Now, any man in this room who's walked his daughter down the aisle knows absolutely that is not what he intended to say. It's what he was told to say. It's what he was told to say at the rehearsal the night before. What he wanted to say is, look at young man. Her mother and I brought this precious young lady into this world. We've given her everything we can give her so she can be who she's intended to be. And we expect you, young man, through this marriage to continue to allow her to be who she's intended to be. Do you understand that, young man? So I sat there, and as you now know, my mind goes to different places. And I said, oh my God, all 12,000 of our people are somebody's precious child, just like that young lady. How we lead impacts people's health and their family unit. And we don't need to teach you anything other than to awaken you to the profound privilege of leading others. It's not about pay and title and power. We can create a world where everybody's precious child know that who they are and what they do matters. We can celebrate children going out into the world if we learn to be good leaders.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's quite amazing, and I'm excited about the fact that it's just in line with what we have today. It's beautiful, very, very beautiful that the world is becoming conscious of the impact of being truly human. Until COVID came, some of us still do not understand the meaning of being human. They told us to maintain social distancing, but we realized that the more socially distant we are, the quicker people were dying. And just imagine everybody maintain social distance. It should have really been interesting, because I know that people that came up with the vaccine, that came up with all of the cures and all of that, like that, were not socially distant, to come about those realities. They had togetherness, in one form or the other, to be able to come about those realities. Really amazing time. It is going to be today. It is already. Birthday boy, it's good to have you. Now, I want you to take on and enjoy yourself today. Because of you, we eventually had this. We would have postponed it and made it another time. But seriously, we need to celebrate this birthday on a global platform. Let people know that today is a birthday. yeah, all over the world, and it's really interesting for me. So our guest would like to hear one or two words from you as you take him on and ask questions that are really truly human, so that we can achieve the company of the future.
Mr. Dimeji, good morning.
Yeah, morning, Prince David.
Oh, I'm so sorry about the heat that came up initially. Thank God it's over now. And thank God it's my birthday. well, well. You know, haven't been studying along these lines. I think I have a lot to ask you, actually. I think I have a
Okay.
whole lot. I had to intentionally this year read Jim Collins's books, Built to Last and Good to Great. Two very important texts now on my shelf. I mean, every man passing, I see them. I'm like, nah, those are the main guys because just extracting the wisdom from all those years of research put into those books was mind blowing. Was just mind blowing. You know, putting humans and putting processes and putting products and putting protocols and putting discipline, everything coming together to form a company that truly can outlive those who best. And, it even led me to go do some research. I went to as far back as some Italian companies, 1,000 years old, some 500 years old. There's a particular company I saw that produces wine, and they've been doing that for almost 1,000 years, and they still exist,
Sure.
sir. I mean, I sat down in front of my screen that night. I didn't know what to say. They've lived really long, and in fact, the person who runs it now does not have any iota of connection to the guys who initially founded it. So it's not a family thing. It's just that there are some processes and there are some, procedures that have suddenly become the culture of the company. And for everyone that flows within that space, they just, do I say, automatically imbibe that culture. And the company has been running. There's a construction company in Japan that has been doing that for almost 800 years. These figures are amazing to me because the statistics is 99% rises die in 70% die in the first 300
Yeah.
days, and then 99% die. That statistics is really brutal. If that was human mortality, it would be like maybe 10,000 people globally. It would be so. If you think about
That,
the
that's
mortality,
that's why we are here on the business remote to reduce business mortality. The rate
exactly.
at which businesses are dying is really really painful. And if more businesses would die, it means that we'll be out of touch, with so much of essence, because businesses are actually the solution to the problems of the people. Now, when people are solving problems, they should also get some benefit for it. That's why we have businesses. We should have just had, charity organizations,
Yep.
but because we have businesses, people that are solving the problems too should be compensated for it. But when people that are trying to solve the problems, not that they are not getting the compensation, but they are not even here for too long, because the structure of what is called the business is not in place. And it means that the solution is going away, the problems are staying. And the more we have problems staying, the more it becomes really impossible for people to achieve their purpose and fulfill their vision, because every business is meant to deliver to people tools, to deliver to people technology, to deliver to people techniques on how to go about fulfilling their destinies. You understand? Imagine we don't have this platform that is giving us the live stream. My grandfather, cannot help me out with all his, herbalists and all of it, whatever it is. I can't bring everybody from all over the world to be here. Imagine this platform is not here. You understand this? It means that
But
this vision.
Suji,
I'm with you, sir.
they were using mirror and they were using water to actually see and talk with each other. So they had this old technology, but the thing is this: we've not been able to tap into that technology and turn it
There will be
into
no
science.
need. There will be no need.
Yeah.
Tapping into the mirror and water. Let's use this.
Okay. goodness. Oh goodness.
So, birthday boy, let's have you, please.
Whoa. So, thinking about companies that outlive their founders, there's a lot responsible, but there's something I would maybe like to just kind of throw light on, because in all of the research, the longest lasting debate was whether it was the responsibility and personality of the founder that made the company live long, or whether it was the teams and the processes that the teams took that made the companies live long. These are two debates. Some people are saying it's all about the leader, it's all about the founder, whatever the guy does is what impacts on the company. Some other people are saying it's all about the team spirit, it's all about the team culture. It is true that someone has to invent the team culture, but is it more of the culture and the way the teams work, the way the company runs, or is it more of how the leader leads? For example, there was some research paper that said that when the leader is a bit self-centered and flamboyant, and with all of those kind of personalities, that he's going to, in the long run, water down how effective his team members are. There's another research that says whether the team leader is whatever he is, if the team members have the right culture, they will still thrive despite what their leader is. So, I mean, these are things that you might just have to play around for a couple of minutes. I really want to know what you think. Having run businesses and having been in this space, what exactly do you think? I mean, the teams you've worked with, do you think you are the major power source of everything that happens there, or do you think everybody has some quota they bring to the table to make the whole thing work?
Okay, thank you, David. Let me. You talked about a company that lasted for 800 years. Is it not?
Yep. Yep.
Now I know of one that lasted for about 2,000 years.
Oh.
Yes, and that particular company is actually continually expanding.
Are you
You get
serious?
me? Yes. And that particular company was started by Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yes, you get me. But let's look at what Jesus did, you get me, within the first 3.5 years that he was actually alive, that he started this company. Now, Jim Collins talked about you need to have a boss. You get me? Then you bring people, the right people on the boss.
Yep.
Now, Jesus had created the boss. And to him, there was no right person for the boss. The thing is this, the moment you join the boss, what he does is this. He makes you who you are supposed to be. You get me? He focuses on developing you, your talent, your potential, your purpose, and so on. So your purpose and potential are actually live within. So when you look at some of those businesses that have actually lasted longer, you'll find out that there's this particular trait in them. Whenever anybody joins that particular company, they to turn the person into something they want, they make sure that the person becomes who that person is. You get me? The person has that freedom, either creative freedom, but there is that freedom for the person to become all I can be. So to that person, work is actually fun. Now, when you look at Nigeria, for instance, even as a nation, I mean, if not for military might, I'm telling you, Nigeria would not have been a nation today. It's just that might and oil that is keeping us together because we take from it. Any organization that is actually not focused on the people, you get me, on the people, developing the people. If the organization is focused on using the people, the organization will not end up getting what it's supposed to have. And it won't last. Because the only thing that will last is the things when you care for people. The truly human company, I will use this analogy, is actually based on what John said in John chapter 3, verse 16. Also love the world. So there's a love there. You get me? He loves people. If you're starting a business, are you thinking about how much money I'm going to make? how much wealthy I'm going to become, or you are thinking about the people and creating this so that we can have fun where we go about changing the world and creating as an opportunity to impact the lives of people. Because most times we don't look at the people that work for us. We look at the people that are far away from us. How will our customers actually serve? Now, there's this issue, I'll come to that. In this Truly Human series, leadership, Truly Human employee, and human education. Now, you see, most times the employee is just there to serve me. Chapman says that leadership, management, which is what you see, is just manipulating people.
Yes. I can hear you.
Okay. Management is just the people for you to get what you want. But leadership is the inspiration. When you inspire people. So in most of the companies that lasted longer, you have leadership. You get me? The business model. Because if they are not making money, they won't last. So there's a business model that actually creates economic value, and there's a culture that creates human value. So the combination of the human, the culture, and the business model actually make many businesses to grow and many businesses to last. The culture is a caring culture. It cares for people. You get me? And the culture ensures that, see, the best way to care for somebody is to listen to the person. When somebody has an idea, you listen to him. I worked in a company, and that particular company, I have an idea. I went to the man, gave him the idea, and the man refused to listen to me. You get me? I felt undignified. It didn't dignify me. So I went ahead, did what I needed to do anyway. When I left there, just about 3-4 months after I left there, the business collapsed because the person that took over doesn't have my own kind of emotional intelligence and inner strength, mental toughness that can actually help the person do that. So the business collapsed. So it's all about, do we care for the people? Bob Chapman will always say that compared with a Ferrari, he talks about the business model is the engine of the Ferrari. Then the culture is actually the premium fuel that you put into it. So you have people inside, make sure that you have a good engine in the car, and you also have a premium fuel, which is your culture. The culture should care for people, and the business model should be robust enough that no matter what it is, flexible enough also, no matter how tough things are, is going to provide you the economic value. So you have human value and economic value. You keep creating this in this same order, human value first, then you always have economic value, and that business will continue to last, because even God will support you because you love people. Hope I've been able to answer your question, David.
In fact, you didn't just answer the question. You, if I'm going to draw like an entire
David, we had
We,
that.
we lost you there.
Okay. One of those things MuMu will say is it's very difficult for you to see people running businesses to say we love you. The word love, they hardly use it in their promotions, in their address, in their speech, whatever it is. They will tell you different things, to mean it the other way, just because they want to get your substance, just because they want to get, what you have, not because not because they want to get, you from where you are to where you're supposed to be. So Many times when we look at it like that, it's very difficult to find the word love to be clearly expressed in business. And one of the points you made just now is people care so much about the person that is far away, the customer that is in Atlanta, Georgia, but the customer inside. One of our sessions like that, and when we talked about compassion in the workplace, it was really interesting, and we were able to establish a fact that we will have the internal customers and the external customers. The external customers will not do well. They won't enjoy anything if the internal customers are not actually doing well. But many times you see people only care about the pancake on their faces. They don't care about the blood that is running in their veins. So, and then when you're not doing all right on the inside, pancake will not stand well on your face. And that's what people do today when we talk about businesses. And it's really disheartening, because the more businesses that gets poisoned from the inside, the more businesses we're going to lose, and the more problems will stay around us, militating and putting people out of the opportunity to fulfill their destiny. Really, really amazing time. David, you are back. Don't worry, we will celebrate your birthday today.
For
audio, okay.
Okay, so I was saying just before I was logged out that I was going to draw an entire system from what Mr. Dimeji said, and it just might be the proper. Let me try to do this. Let me see if it works. So there is a company established 2,000 years ago. There is a leader and needed team members. So he had to go out to find team members, and he found 12 team members and decided to build these 12 team members for 3.5 years, and imbibing in them the culture of love, because he, of course, loved them as much as he did himself. And when he was going to leave after 3.5 years, he decided to leave them with a template, a business model, and a modus operandi, if you put it that way. So you're saying that
I feel you.
or or are we bringing from all of this that if peradventure I bring in a couple of people on my team and I decide to train them and teach them, of course, by loving them, all of that, and I build them to a level, I can deploy them and they will not fail. I mean, they will be totally failure proof. If that's what we're saying, it means we just might have a model that we can export to the world. Okay, let's say it's already some places in the world, but a model that works. Build them first, show them love, show them that you care, teach them the things you know, teach them how to make the sacrifice you would have made, and then deploy. All right.
But
Deploy.
here among the team he actually trained, in as much as he was actually a very good trainer and a very good developer of people, there was still a Judas among them.
True.
Yeah, you get me. So there are always without human feelings within the system. But the key thing is this: for you to anticipate that, and not to be reactive, but just be responsive. You need to understand that you don't have the power to make somebody to choose what they want to choose, to decide what they want to decide. Yours is to make sure that you actually create the environment that they can actually become all that they can be, and they can do all that they wish to do. So the work, which means the work you do for you, must align with their purpose. You get me? If you look at the one of Jesus, anyone enters, he actually creates a place and fits you in the place where your purpose fits. It doesn't take you out of your purpose. You get me? If you look at Nigeria here, most of us are actually working in Nigeria, not simply because that is our purpose. It's simply because we are working because we want to have money. So our value system is the value system that wants to earn money. So you find out that if you have a startup and you start and you bring in people, Most of the people that will come, they'll be looking at how much will you pay me.
Oh, true, 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 true.
So the moment the focus of that person is money, you can't care for that
Mm,
person because the person can even sell you to actually get money.
mm, mm.
That's just the
That's the
truth.
primary reason.
You can't change that person's focus. You can't change it. So, but the thing is
You know,
this.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, when you look at David, David was also somebody that actually built an empire, and his empire still exists till date. Now, David there were some set of people poor, rejected, and so on. What did David do? They came to David. David trained them, and they became the great men of David. You get me? I don't know whether Muslims are watching, but it's in the Quran too. So I'm not trying to preach or evangelize anybody, please. So David did the same thing. Abraham trained some people that were ready. So it's not about looking for the best to employ. The truly human company turns anyone into the best.
Woof.
You get me? The people
Yes,
that
sir.
Jesus took were actually the rejected of the society. Fishermen, I mean, who is a fisherman? Even the accountant that he picked was looked down upon. Those are the people. He didn't go for the Pharisees, the big men. He didn't go for that. He went for the people that nobody saw value in them, and he developed them. And there was a place that when they saw what they were doing, they look at these people and they say, you people didn't go to school. We know you to be people that are not the best in our society. But the thing is this, you have been with that leader, and that leader has
You've
actually trained you.
you've been trained. You've been trained. You've been
Yes.
trained.
So that is the essence of the truly human company. You get me? It trains people. It
So
just,
going back to
yeah,
something you
but
just said, I think,
yeah,
am I still audible, sir?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So it was in February this year that I wanted to hire a couple of people for something I wanted to do. And there was this particular lady. Honestly, I never felt so insulted in my life. Even though I was the one hiring, I didn't know. I mean, the chair could not contain me. And this lady comes, in fact, I had to travel, or no, not travel. I had to take a trip to go and interview her for reasons that I could not control. That I would never do that on a normal day, but I just said, okay, let me go. I have a duty to do this, and I must get it done. So I get to where she is. So I guess the first question she asked me, she didn't greet me. She didn't even look me in the face. She was looking at her fingernails. She said, "Sir, how much are you willing to pay?" Woo! And I didn't know how exactly to go about that scenario. And because what we wanted to do was, a job that involved creatives, we just had to let her go. And guess what? 2 weeks later, someone comes to me and says, I have someone I want to refer. And I say, okay, okay, bring this person. And she says, she's from here. I'm like, I've been there. And who I went to meet there was a she. I just hope it's not the same person. And, a couple of days later, they come to the office. It was the same girl. Oh. And in fact, I didn't know what to do, but we took her in. We took her in. We took her in. I felt that it would be too wrong of me if I just used. I didn't know what she must have been passing through. If I used that to judge her, I honestly didn't know. Maybe whether I would have been misjudging her. So I just said, come on, come on, come on the team. Now we worked for about a week and she disappeared. And I told my guys, I said, I knew from the beginning that this person was the wrong choice. The idea that you are not even motivated by, you've not even known what you want to do. The first question is, what are you going to pay me? And while it's important that the leader, takes care of the people and shows them love and is empathetic, that already just put me off. And even after I reconsidered, she still fell my hand. So it means that my initial analysis was correct. So if you come with that kind of thinking and you bring it to what a truly human company should be, I want to ask you, sir, when we're taking in people, or when we are recruiting people, or when we are bringing people on board, because I looked at the hiring process of Apple when they started. There's something called the mastermind invented by Napoleon Hill, and the mastermind
Okay.
states that if ArkoFGod wants to build a team, he would come and then find me. If he likes me, we'll become two people. And then when we want to take the third person, ArkoFGod doesn't hire the person alone. We both hire the third person. And when we're about to take the fourth person, the three of us hire the fourth person. When we're about to take the fifth person, the four of us, there's this funny scenario that Napoleon Hill was trying to paint. So I looked at the way Apple was hiring when they were less than 100. They were very tight. There was this very funny way they hire. They would say something about the project they're working on, and according to one of the executives at the time, he said they will look straight into your eyes. When they talk about that project, if there is not a spark in your eye, they won't hire you. It means that you're not interested in what they're doing. I don't know if that's supposed to be a correct parameter for hiring, but that was how they did it. And they built one of the best teams in the world. If we were to bring it to a space like Nigeria, people are really stressed. I mean, don't let's play around. People are really, really stressed. If we are to hire, and we are hiring for the purpose of building a truly human company, if you were the one hiring, how would you hire?
The first thing you need to do is remember you have a business model and you have a culture. The
Mm-hmm.
business model is entirely your responsibility. And if you don't define your culture yourself, the culture will define itself. You get me? If you don't design it, there'll still be a culture there. And you're going to have people come into your company based on your culture. So why don't you become intentional in designing your culture? One of the culture of Apple is empathy. You get me? That is the ability to put yourself in another person's shoes. That's all of their products. That's what they do. So it's one of the things they look at people. In actual sense, Apple's recruitment, most times after Steve Jobs came back, it was modeled after Steve Jobs' character. You get me? That's why after he leaves, there was nobody to actually continue to power that particular culture.
True, true,
So the
true.
new person has to just move and create another different culture so that will make Apple not an innovator, but simply a money-making machine. And Apple is actually making lots of money now. You get me? They are not innovating anything, but they are making money. So you have to have a culture. Then ensure that in those particular culture, the thing with culture is this. Culture comes with behaviors. So you have to test all of those behaviors in the person that comes. It's not, oh, what will you bring to the table? I mean, that's an ancient way of asking. Just ask the person, what have you been doing?
Yep.
Have you taken any step yourself to do this? You know your culture and you know the things you're expecting, the behaviors. So you don't expect, if the person say, I've not been doing that, the person will not do it in your place.
Yep.
Because it's a habit. You
Yeah.
get me? Habits take about 90 days to form. And if the person is on the job and running, the best place to learn a habit is in school, not in the workplace. Yes, it's in the school, not in the workplace. You don't learn habits in the workplace. You demonstrate habits in the workplace. So those are the things. And my mentor, Jim Rohn, actually said this long ago, and it changed my mindset. He said, don't get employed because of what they will pay you, but because of who you become. You get me? A lot of employees don't know this. You don't
Yeah.
go to a place because the thing is this: if you employ me, you pay me a certain amount of money. Now, no matter how much you pay me, you get me? I have no power over it. You are the one that determines how much you're going to pay me. You put that particular amount you're going to pay me and you tag it to the position I'm going to be working on. It's not attached to the job description, it's just that position. Then to that position, you attached a job description to it. That is what you expect me to be doing. So the thing is this: each day I come, I perform what you tell me to do. At the end of the month or week, I earn what I needed to earn. You get me? It's not internal. By the time I leave, you get me? By the time I leave, okay, take an employee is somebody who was employed in a certain company. You get me? Is earning big amount of money and is rejoicing, he gives testimony and so on. Oh, I earned this, I'm doing this. Then one day he leaves that position. Now, does he go with the salary?
No.
Now, what does he go with? Who he has become.
True.
Yeah.
But you see, that wasn't his focus. So most times when they leave the job, they end up suffering because they thought they were the ones. Okay, let me give you this instance. I worked in a place for a man. He has his business. You know, I was doing things and he was getting results. I was joyful that it was me that was bringing him results. So I left to start my own. You get me? It wasn't working. I started doing all night, casting out devils. You know, I had my team will come on a night, will pray. We're turning it into a church. You get me? I was wondering, how come I helped this man? The man had a system. And he had something that I could just do that will produce. You get me? But I came to my own, I don't have that. So that became a bigger challenge for me. I left his place. The salary was paying me everything. I lived there. The job description, everything, I left there. Now I have to start. Imagine if I was there because of who I should become. You get me? When I leave, it will have been easier for me to just transition because I have become that person. So you make sure that when you're employing, employ culture. Employ for culture, people that fit into your culture. You won't have much challenge with such kind of people. Jesus didn't employ the greedy. He employed the people that were humble. So even after he left, you get me, they were still there. They build, they believe in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is this, the vision you have of your business should also be the people should buy into that vision. If they buy into the vision, even if you are not there, it's their vision. The vision is theirs. So you as the leader, you are a seller of vision. So sell the vision to them. Then allow them to provide the tools and allow them to do things. Once they have that freedom, your business will be built.
Amazing, really interesting. Yeah, I think we already talked about the process of hiring, and that when we look at the shade a bit, you look at it that it's almost like we are trying to hire the best. But what if by all these parameters they are not the best? How do we now make them the best? In the system we've got. So I'm asking a systemic question. So what are the things that we need to put in place? What are going to be the component of the system that makes the people become the best in a corporate, sense?
Now, like let's look at Barry Way Miller, for instance, Bob Chapman. You see, they had to set up a university, an internal university, to actually begin to teach the people how to care. Because if I care for you, I'll go to any length for you. I will make sure that things work for you. You get me? Now, if I don't care for you, I won't care about what I do, whether it affects you or not. Do you get me?
Yes, sir.
I won't care. But if I care for you, I will make sure I put in the effort to ensure that everything actually works. I can go the extra mile. Look at the mother. The mother will always go the extra mile for her children.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get me? So it's all about, that's why they teach caring. Apple, for instance, Apple have a university. And in their university, you can go and take any course.
Oh.
You can go and take any course. And today, in most of their university, they actually teach human skills. They teach human skills and then send you to go and learn some technical skills. Because at the long run, the ability to work with another person, to relate with another person, is actually the game changer for every other business. If I know where I'm working, I have people that care for me, I'll put in my best to ensure that they actually get what they want. But if I know that nobody cares for me and everybody is out to get their own, me too, I'll look for a way to actually get out of it. So that is the Nigerian system. You get into a place, then the culture you're introduced to is the fact that, see, this is a dog eat dog. Oh. Now cat, dog, they pursue cat here. So if you want to be, you need to become like a dog. And I once interviewed a businessman. He told me that in Nigeria, when you start a business, the people you employ, the first thing they will say is this: let me take my own out of this company before the thing die. So they keep taking, and it dies, and they go to start their own, and somebody enters there and kill their own. So you find out that in Nigeria, it is not the market that kill businesses, it is the internal processes that actually kill business because we don't care.
Whoa.
I once said this, that when you look at most successful business in Nigeria, there are two aspects of it. Either they are manipulating and cheating people, or secondly, they have business with government. You get me? You look at somebody say he's a billionaire, check out. He must have made his money in relationship from government, and it has to do with oil. Most Nigerian billionaires have to do with oil. You get me? And also money, government. So we've not really built a business. Look at Abiola. Abiola had good businesses. You know, it's the wonder of the world. I should think the 9th or the 10th that Abiola's business, none of them exist today. You get me? So those are the things we need to take time to study. Why is it that in this particular part of the world, why do we continually destroy businesses? And you find out that it's simply because we don't care. We don't care for anybody apart from myself. We don't care whether your business. I work in a place, the man was paying me peanuts. I was working 20 hours a day. You get me? At times I wasn't eating. I did that for 14 months. I was working 20 hours a day, serving this man. His children were in the US.
Wow.
And the money we were making, he would just carry the money and send to his kids to school them in the US. so yeah. So you see, I was just a tool. So after I left, the business collapsed because it can't stand.
Hey.
You can't build a business on manipulating people. You can't build a business on cheating people. You have to build a business on serving people. That's why the truly human business is all about listening to people, recognizing the good things they do. If you listen to what Bob Chapman was talking about, and also the culture of serving people. You first of all listen to them. You get me? Empathetic listening. You are listening to understand them. Now, when you listen to someone and the person knows that you are really listening, the person feels respected. The person feels cared for. You get me? So when you do that, the next thing is this: you recognize the person. Don't look at what is it the person is doing bad. Look at what the person is doing good and celebrate what is doing good. Celebrate the person for what they are doing good. Recognize the things they are doing. There's this that Bob Chapman does. They introduce, they systemize in Barry Wemiller. Now, in secondary school, you get a report sheet at the end of the term. Hello?
Yes, yeah, yeah. With you, sir.
Hello? Okay. Yeah, you
Yeah,
get a
we
report from your school and you take it to your parents. What card? Are you guys with me?
Yes, yes. It's breaking, however, but still
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay. So you get a card from the school, you take it to the parents, your parents, and they know your performance in school. There are recommendations there. Oh, he's good at this. You need to improve in this. Produce that in the company. You know, at the year, they write the report card to parent to the spouses of their employees, and they said this person is actually helping. He has brought this kind of value this year to a particular place, and they celebrate him. Now is the fact that this person is
Amazing.
good. You get me? Then, of course, the last one is the culture of serving. You need to serve each other caringly. Within the company, you create those particular things within the company. You find a place where people get transformed.
yeah.
Transform. You get me? And they feel that people care for me in this place. I want to actually feel people. So those are we're actually missing in the Nigerian business. Everybody is there to just make money. So come in, I'm looking for how you can make me. There's this particular thing that came out. You look at his boss and say, oh, I love this car. And the boss said, if you work more harder, you put in more effort, I'll buy a second one. You get so he wasn't looking at okay, how do I get this person to also get home? How do I show him
Yeah.
his own wealth? You get me? So he can also be able to his own wealth and own it. It was just me, me, me. But by being interested in other people and not just so that what I would say.
Wow, interesting. I got a few points that are very, very important to building a system that will make people to become the best. One of those things that is really prevalent in the workplace when it comes to making people to become the best. Really, there are smart people in place of work, really smart people that because of the way they go about doing their stuff, they attract uh, special attention, by the supervisors, the boss, and all of it like that. And truly, sometimes they also get certain favor, sometimes unexplainable, sometimes so physical that you can say, yeah, because is this and that for you. Now, it makes the unserious or not too smart employee to now change his or her job description to now become a jealous or an envy colleague. Now, the person became favored because the person was smart, getting the job done, but you weren't smart enough to get the job done. Now, instead of you to work on you becoming smart for you to be able to get jobs done, you added to your job description to envy the person that is doing well. Many times, people who are not really tough or mentally tough or resilient, they fall for the politics that will happen around them and bring them down in the place of work. So some people just try to save their head. They can resign or go to another place to work or do whatever they can do because somebody can play the politics than them, even though they are better to the bottom line than them. But somebody can play the politics than them. So what do you think we've done? We are talking about turning the uh, the trash to become a precious resource. you didn't employ the best, but you want to make the employed to become the best. So what do you think can be done to this internal politics? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's just in different degrees. And it's something that is becoming unbearable nowadays, because what makes the company to do well or not to do well is dependent on the interference of the politics that is going in there. So how do we take care of them, internal politics in workplaces, so that we can have the best come out of people in the company?
Okay. Humans, we are political animals. And more so in Nigeria, we are more political than any other animal. Nigerians are political in everything. I was talking with someone, and Nigerian engineers, that in the university we are produced as politicians, not as engineers. That is one of the faults in the Nigerian system for engineers. University, then you'll find is this: the engineers there are actually politicians. They are the ones that dominate. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the thing is this: the leadership, the man at the top, you get me? He is the one that determines what politics is actually played. Because everybody look up to him. If he chose a clique, then the other people within the clique, you get me, begin to feel we were outside. So it depends on the leader. You get me? Let me address this issue of employees. I believe that an employee can actually count anything that happens within the workplace. After reading a lot of John C. Maxwell. Now, leadership is influence. So which means no matter the kind of politics that is within, you get me? Anybody can actually influence what is happening within. But the first thing is this: in order for you to influence, you have to have credibility. So which means I should be able to actually produce results. If I don't produce results, I lack credibility. So I need to produce results and have credibility. Then the next thing to do is this. We look at top down, the lead to care for the employee. Now, why don't we look at employee also caring for the leader? The employee also influencing the leader. You get me? Take, for instance, Tunji, you were even an intern. You were not even a staff. Into this particular company. There was a policy in a particular company before you got in. But you were there in your IT. And the next thing is this: you began to influence even the person that owns the company. And before you know, you left there with a scholarship. In as much as
network.
Oh. Session is extremely powerful.
Hey.
Aish.
Okay. We hope he gets over that and joins us on a good note. So while he joins us, okay, when we look at companies, I've come to realize a few things, and they are very, very important. He mentioned creating credibility. People, there's going to be a tilt to where there is weight. Where there is weight, that is where we are going to have a tilt. So how weighty are you? you know, how every now it cuts across everything. Now, if you are not the one that made the company to do this, do that, make it possible for them, you know, things you won't have fans. Why you are going to have fans in that company is because you are making things happen, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
obvious or not, whether you know
Mm.
it's something people can relate with or not. Why the gate man will say, "Hey, Baba," because you are making something happen for him. When you are going, maybe you know, you just give him 500 naira, and it feels good. So tomorrow
Yeah.
morning, he wants to get another one. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So because you are making something
Yeah.
happen, you are going to get fans. So where do you make things happen? Where you make things happen is where you're going to get fans. So there's going to be a tilting towards where there is weight. And when there is
Mm.
a tilting towards where there is weight, there is an advantage for you to create influence. I was just saying what you would have said in your absence. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
no, it's okay. I was given an example with what you did in where you actually served, where you did your IT. You get me? At the end of the day, you actually left with a scholarship. You get me? You took those scholarship. You never sent a tithe to me. So you get me? He went into that company. There was politics in that company. But you see, he went there and he developed credibility because he was there focused on serving. And through that, he was actually able to change the politics while he was there because of the power of influence. Every other employee can do that. I was chatting with someone on LinkedIn, he is in the US, and he was telling me what happened. You see, I said, see, if you enter into a place and you show the person that is your boss, that I'm focused on serving you and to make your life better, you get me? We're all humans. The truly human company sees other people as humans, not as function. If somebody is a manager, you don't see him as a manager, you see him as a human. He has a family at home, he has challenges too. Some of those challenges may be the reason why he's behaving the way he is more than the title he bears. He's a human. He is also affected by a lot of things. So when you get to understand things like this, you get me, it helps a great deal. You get me? So that
Yes,
way
sir.
you can actually influence. When you come to politics, it's all about influence.
Mm-hmm.
So every single person develop influence, and influence cannot be developed except you have credibility. You get me? If you don't have credibility, you can't influence anybody.
That's profound, very
Mm.
profound.
Yeah, that's John C. Maxwell anyway. He taught us all that.
Woo, man. I mean, I've been writing since my book is gradually complaining, but choice. Ah.
Yeah. So
Next time, come with a bigger book next time.
the, the the thing I will promise you is this, Tunji, you already have truly human leadership. I'll send you truly human employee and truly human company.
Truly human gifts.
Yeah, truly human gift. So
I
I'll
don't
mail
mind
it
if
to you. Yes, sir?
I don't mind if I get some too.
No, I'll mail to you too. So
Oh,
it's your
perfect.
birthday anyway, so take it as a birthday gift. Uh, you
Oh
remember
goodness.
I sent it to Sheung sometime back.
Yes, for his
Yeah,
birthday.
yes.
Yes.
So you just provide your mailing address and I'll
Mhm.
get it over to you.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, sir.
No
so
problem,
happy
sir.
birthday.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, I feel today was just a very beautiful outing on its own. It came with its own, tone. It came with its own vibe. It came with its own whatever it is. It looks to me like a rehearsal of another time we're going to be having. You know, dipping really into this ocean of truly human company, because there's just one thing that will be left when everything is done. It's the blood in our veins, and that's true. You know, it doesn't matter. What you've been with, with gold, with metal, with whatever it is. you need humans for the company to
That's
be
true.
built, for the company to be on its own, on the wheel of success,
Mm.
moving from one place to the other, getting things done. So many times people just don't do what they are supposed to do, not because they don't know what to do, but when something is not a culture, people find it hard to be alien. You know, they find it
That's
hard
true.
to stand out. They find it hard to want to do the different thing. When you go to some culture, it's not a bad thing to marry 500 wives. You understand? When in that culture, so when you don't do that, you feel hurt. You get. But in another place, you don't even want to marry more than half. But they say, don't
Mm.
worry, just marry one. It's okay. You know, it's a culture there. So, but when you want to do something outside that, you feel very, different, and that's where it is. We in Africa, there's that culture of running businesses to bully your neighbor, to tell your neighbor that part of the title of my name is CEO.
Mm.
If you have not heard that before, go and check what it means in the dictionary. You want to tell the guy that, hey, do you actually know that I am the owner of so company and so company? Even though when the company is not doing well, you want them to know. And that's why you see, even people they drive cars that are more expensive than the value of their companies.
That's true.
Cars that they cannot get from the profit of their companies. Why? Because they just want to impress somebody. They want somebody to know that, okay, they are actually in charge of the company or of a company. You understand? So, and somebody who is riding a car that is of higher valuation than the company, it means that he's already in debt. He's already
That's
servicing
true.
a particular debt. And he will want to augment for that. In augmenting for that, it becomes a tax master holding the horsewhip, and every employee will look like cattle. He will whip anybody who is not advancing properly in the direction he wants, because he already has a debt he has to service for his own personal life. Now, if it were to be, a debt that is being serviced for everybody, everybody will understand that, oh, our company just made it to be one of the best company in the world, and then for that to happen, we need to do a merger. We needed to acquire a company, and now everybody knows that we have not even paid for it. We need to do more work for us to be able to pay for the acquisition. You understand? So everybody is in it. But when people don't know why they are working, as a matter of fact, why they are working is because the CEO just got a house on the island, the best place in town. Because the CEO just got a car, you understand? Just a fleet of them, not even just a car. The most recent exotic car. The CEO just got that. The CEO, is on a schedule to travel the world. So when people are working, they don't really know why they are working. But behind the scene, they are working because the CEO is in debt. He has just bought more than what he can chew. And they have to, bail him out. But he doesn't know how to come and tell them that, hey, guys, you guys have to bail me out. Don't put your CEO to shame, stuff like that. But the thing is, if it were to be a vision of a company, everybody will know that, yeah, uh, Facebook just bought WhatsApp. Let's assume WhatsApp is so enormous. It actually, got deep into the pocket of the company. This is why we are working 24 hours for the next 3 months, so that we can, cover up, the debt this acquisition actually had on us. But nobody knows why they are working. They are just getting wiped, they are getting fired, they are getting all of it, whatever it is, because somebody's need is rising. Somebody's need is rising. So it's really a good rehearsal. I like the rehearsal. It's a good one, and people are already getting. We didn't have the time to shake a lot of tables and break them, shatter them to pieces. But it's already a good signal now. People know what they are expecting when they are going to hear about truly human company the next time, because we are going to break those tables. It's just a continuation of what happened with um, the compassion in the workplace. It's not just don't just expect that the good thing should come from your employer. You too can be a good employee. You understand? It should be the two-way things, and also it's not even the two-way now. It also involves the customers too. Customers, don't just think that you are a king. Don't be a foolish king. Don't just put pressure on the people. Say, yeah, because I'm the king. So I
Right.
want them to get me two heads of goats inside the puppy. You understand? Because I'm the king. They must give me what I want. You shouldn't be that kind of person. So we are bringing it together. And then, when we have truly human, companies, truly human education, truly human employee, truly human leadership, and all of it, we are going to have a better world. Look at it. Everything, everything that exists has either expired or, gone extinct.
Hmm.
But the only thing that remains is human. The only thing that remains is human. So why not, latch to this thing that is going to be here, and not on that thing that already has an expiring date, not on that thing that's already endangered. We are struggling with money now. Money is taking different form. Some people say, okay, let's go crypto. Look
Yeah.
at it. No matter what it is, it's taking as many forms as it can take. Is Remember, there was a time they were spending cowries as an escape from trade by barter. But where is cowrie today? It has gone. But it was people that were spending cowries. Where are people today? They are still here. There was a time, Ford told everybody, if you are not driving a black car, you are not driving any car, because it was
Yes.
producing only black cars. You understand? And where are those edifices? Where is Ford black car of those days? They are gone. But where are humans? We are still here. Look at it all through. Everything has come and gone, but humans are still here. So why not,
But you know
pay
this.
attention,
Here's the
sir?
thing. I say here
Okay,
is the thing. In as
okay.
much as we have humans, our humanity is actually going extinct. You get me? We may be humans
Mm,
in body form, but humanity is actually getting extinct. Because the moment you begin to think about yourself, you are no longer human. You are an animal. So that's why you see the world is going the way it's going. You get me? Because we are becoming animalistic, where animals are actually protective of themselves. You get me? It's all about me. So when we are humans, we care about the other human. Human doesn't even know whether somebody is my son. You get me? I don't treat somebody because somebody is my son better than somebody that is outside. You get me? That is animal. An animal can actually kill another animal even if he's trying to help his own child.
yeah.
You get me? But humans, we look at other people differently. So humanity is actually getting extinct. But the thing is this, it is time to bring humanity back to business. It is time to bring humanity into employment. It's time to bring humanity into education, humanity into healthcare,
Leadership
and any other area of our lives
everywhere,
because it's going
everywhere,
extinct.
everywhere. Very important. And from that, I can simply put it like this: that's what we use to preserve human is humanity. We
Yeah.
preserve human with humanity. So it's not just the carcass; it's the blood that runs in the vein. Humanity is the
Mm.
blood, in our vein. That's what makes us human. And if you are not human, you don't have any other option than to be an animal. So it's not whether you are 50% animal or 50% human. You are either human and animal. And
All
it's
right.
true. You see, a lioness will fight even a tiger that is in the same cat family as itself because of the cub. And but you see, the woman that is getting burnt by
Mm.
fire, she's withstanding the fire and keeping the baby. This baby,
Mm.
you are not going to die. Fire is gulping her, but it's keeping the baby. Hey, this baby, you're not going to die. Oh, it's amazing
Yeah.
how we have lost our
And
humanity, and
let me
it's
say
time to
this
bring it back. Okay, sir.
based on something you said. You see, all the resources on earth are going extinct. You get me? Some are scarce, some are going extinct. But you see, there's one ultimate resource that is in abundance. That's why when they say resources, oh, and I forget Nigeria, crude oil will go, crude oil will finish. You get me? You know, I kind of look at if crude oil finish, gold finish, what is it? There's an ultimate resource, and that ultimate resource is called the human ingenuity. It's the ultimate resource, and it can turn anything, even nothing, into something.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
look at
Dirty
Facebook.
water to pure water.
You get me? Facebook is from nothing. Microsoft, what is it? There's nothing.
Nothing.
Because when you go back and you actually check all the software, they are nothing. They don't exist. You get
They
me?
are
All of
soft,
those
but
things. The website we're on, you can't handle it. They are unhandleable. But you see, it is human ingenuity. And some of those businesses, Facebook, okay, look at um, some of those businesses are actually richer than Shell, richer than
of course.
Chevron. You get
Yes,
me?
sir.
Because it's human ingenuity. So, in as much as we're looking at if humanity goes extinct, then human ingenuity will also go extinct. Because we won't know who have it. We know that we have the ability to empower resources, every resources with the ability to become useful and to create wealth. God has embedded those things inside of us. But we need to go back to our humanity, then we'll now begin to use human ingenuity. In Nigeria, for instance, we need that a lot. Because the reason why we do the things we do in Nigeria is simply this. Because we think everything is scarce. We have scarcity mentality. Everything is scarce. That's why we do everything the way we do. Somebody gets into government. How can a politician become a billionaire? You get me? How can a politician become a billionaire, for instance? I mean, the moment you become a minister or a governor, you're a billionaire already. How can you? What service are you rendering? What part of your ingenuity are you using? You get me? None of those things, because we have lost our humanity. So the way we make money without creating value. I mean, that is the greatest evil. You get me? That's the greatest evil. That shows how humanity is dead. You can't make money without creating value. You can't. So, but if we're making it, then it simply means that society is doomed. Because the society doesn't care for anybody. If I care for you, I create value for you. But if I don't care for you, I
Yeah.
take from you. So those scarcity mentality and all of those things are actually the reason why Nigerian society is the way it is, and we are not creative and innovative. Though there are sparks here and there of people that are actually creative and people that are making things happen, which is very good. Like Flutter Wave, Paystack, you get me? Those are people that you find out that are actually human, and they are looking at how do we create wealth by caring for other people and creating value for them. And those are good. But the thing is, we will need to get to a point where we gain momentum and we have more people actually doing that. You get me? By so doing, the society will actually get better. So truly human, that is how we affect society also.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Birthday boy.
Sir,
Okay,
uh,
let's have you.
that's today's been extremely powerful. I don't know what words to use to qualify today, but I think I'll basically just say a very big thank you. I mean, it's the biggest gift I think anyone would have given me today, except of course someone has a private jet waiting for me after this meeting. I, I don't think there will be, woo.
Yeah,
For example,
I'll call some people in one of those state capital.
Okay,
The
sir.
technology that our great-grandparents used to transport themselves, a broom. So, yeah, it will be delivered to you to take you anywhere you want to go.
Oh goodness. Whew. You know, one of my biggest burdens has been, hoping that maybe someday when I leave, or when I leave Earth, I'll leave a piece of enterprise behind. It's been, honestly, that's for me personally, it's been one of my biggest burdens. I'm trying to learn from as many people as I can learn from. I'm trying to drink from as many waters as I can drink from, so that one day, perhaps, I would have exactly what it takes to leave something unkillable behind. I do a lot of studies along this line, and today has been extremely, extremely deep. I mean, from the culture to the hiring to, I mean, everything, everything. Doctor, I'm calling you doctor already. Mr. Dimeji, thank you so
Tunji is the doctor.
Oh,
He is the business mumu, so he's the doctor.
that's fantastic.
Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing. This is really a beautiful get together party. I really love it. And I want to sing a happy birthday song, for. I want to sing happy birthday song. Don't worry. It's going to be amazing. Really cool. I want to sing happy birthday song for you. Don't worry. Just wait a moment.
Tunji,
Sir,
I need to prepare for another session by 1 o'clock.
okay, sir.
Yeah, so Prince David, happy birthday once again. Just send Tunji your mailing address, then I'll
Yep.
get the book sent to you.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
So, really, really amazing time today. Thank you so much for coming around. We are so happy to have you.
My pleasure.
Before you go, we would like you to, just in a brief, tell us about what you do. The people would like to hear what you do. People would like to hear what you do. We'll sing the song later. People would like to hear what you do, and we also like you to tell us one or two things about the platform, what you want us to work on, and get better with.
Okay. What I do is just pick a field and see how can I create value for that particular field. You get me? It's more like the Great Commission, what Christians call Great Commission. You get me? Go into the world. So you need look at the particular field where there are challenges and how can I bring value to that particular field. So that's what I do. Education, business, family. How do I disrupt those areas? Not really disrupt, transform those areas so that you can actually become better. So I create organizations and I create tools and businesses to see how do we really address this. Like in a few weeks now, we're going to hold a training, truly human education training for universities so that Nigerian universities can actually become truly human. You get me? In the truly human education, we're bringing lean methodology, we're bringing design thinking, we're bringing system approach to those particular things. You get me? Those are things they never saw. Then curriculums will actually be redesigned to fit into some of those things. So healthcare, the same thing. So that's what I do. And I run Engineers Without Borders Nigeria. I started that right from the university. It's just like in the US. You start something in the university. Nigerians we don't start things and stay with it for long. You get me? I've been with this thing for about 20 years now. It's not giving me what I want. I keep working on it until it produces what I really want. You get me? So those are the things. And with this particular platform, Tunji, I know you, at least I've seen you. We've been together since 2013, 2012 or 13. 11, okay,
11.
since 2011. So the thing I know with you is this: whenever you start something, you don't give up. You know, I remember the days of what was it called? Google Blog. Yeah, I remember those days that you were actually blogging on what was the name of their blog again? You were blogging, and you know, people were reading all that you were blogging all over the world. You know, I was amazed. I was thinking you were going to give up, but now you've transformed into this. You see, these are amazing things, and I know that you actually get to places out of this particular seed, a great tree that many people will actually come and perch on will actually be built. Because I know you don't give up. You are persistent and you're consistent. And those are the key tools that can actually make things work. But the thing is this: sit down and think how to build a business model out of this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's really an amazing time. As we allow you to go, just shortly, you can just join us in singing the happy birthday song. It's amazing. We brought the best for you. Don't worry, we'll continue later. Yeah, thank you so much. It's good to have you. I'm really, really excited about the fact that we are unbreakable. Yeah, I think earlier we had issues with connectivity. It's one of those reasons why we are here, to bring them to that notice that, hey guys, you know what? We need better connectivity in this space, and we are going to have it. We're going to have it, and that's why Business MuMu is coming up, and we want to reduce business mortality. Businesses should not die because some people are behaving animalistic in getting things done. For every business, there is a solution that is solved, and if solution there's a problem that is solved, and if solutions come into the market, there are destinies that will fulfill. Really, really amazing time today on Business MuMu platform. We keep testing the waters, and now we now have the platform not just on LinkedIn Live. We also have it on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. Engagement for all of those places grow with time, and for now, I think we are still having very strong engagement on LinkedIn, and we'll work on engaging more on other platforms so that we can reach wider audience. So far, it's a good product. Why not let people know about it? And that's the ideology. So if the bad people can let people know about the bad things, why keep away the good things? So it's an amazing, really amazing time today. Again, I want to appreciate every one of us that stayed all through to this time with all from all over the world. We really appreciate you. We have a very unstructured chat moment today, but however, I'll still do the shout out. I will always do it. Dr. Charles, thank you for coming around. It's good to have you. Nuruddin, you're welcome. Thank you for coming around to have you. Eileen, thank you. I'm going to send you the link to the video that I can, catch up. Thank you for coming. Good to have you. And for every other person who were not bold enough to use the comment section, we appreciate you behind the scene. We appreciate you wherever you connected and you stayed with us. Thank you so much. Prince David, aka Ogu, that's his name. I think I pronounced it well. So you can, shout out to him on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on every platform you feel comfortable. It's all over the place. Just go and tell him happy birthday. He deserves the best. Myself, I had my birthday this month, but the coincidence did not come for me to have it on the business for Monday. So it's not a planned work, but it's because he deserves it, and it's really deserving for us to have him celebrate his birthday today. It's an amazing time. If not for him, it would have been a really boring journey all the way. I just talked to him and said, I think I need a boost. And then before you know it, David said, yeah, here I am. Let's do this. And it's been really exciting time moving with him, and I learned so much from him. He's a great guy, really great guy. I don't work with people that I can't learn from, and that's why he's here. It's really amazing time to be. And so much gifts are coming your way, and this is just the beginning. It's a big deal because we need to appreciate that who are truly human, because they are the ones that will change. You took your time, and sorry about that, taking your time of preparation for them. So however,
okay.
feel like that you were on business move platform today, and then you enjoy yourself. Do you not enjoy yourself? Thank you so much. So I would like
Thank you.
to end the stream now. But because we are going now, I've just had some behind the scenes meeting, but end the stream now. Me and David will enjoy ourselves behind the scenes. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody who came around. It was really interesting time.